A privileged principal of Mount Litera Zee School, OMR Chennai. I am very proud of this school because our students are all with high caliber. We work and we strive to reach the students to their fullest potential. We help them, we guide them, and we are as a team working together. Our teachers are guiding lights, they generate valuable lessons for our students, and they are growth laminated teachers. Thank you.
Correspondent of Mount Litera Zee School, OMR, Kidzee, Padum, Kelambakam, Thalambur and Navalur. The vision of our school is creating a future leaders by synthesizing the human values. The mission of our school is what is right for the child. Thank you.
As the founder chairman of Mount Litera Zee School, OMR Chennai, and as a management team of the school, we strongly emphasize and focus on providing holistic education for our students. The holistic education is not only providing a very good academics, we also emphasize on providing extracurricular and co-curricular activities platform within the school framework, so that our students can explore all the platforms and we can identify the inner potential of the students. Based on the identification of the true potential or inner potential, we can nurture each and every student as an individual talent or potential for the country and for the future endeavour. Thank you.
Good evening, dear parents. and a warm welcome to our online parent orientation session for grades 1 to 5. We are thrilled to have you join us as partners in shaping the bright futures of our young learners. It is said the greatest gifts you can give your children are the roots of responsibility and the wings of independence. At our institution, we strive to instill these values through a nurturing and stimulating environment. At Mount Litera Zee School OMR Chennai and Kidzee Padur, Kelambakam and Navlu, Talambur, we take this responsibility to heart, ensuring every child receives the best. Today, we are here to walk you through all that we envision in academics, futuristic education, and the life skills that shape their future. We are delighted to have you with us today as we set forth on this journey together to ensure the best for our children. To begin, let us extend our heartfelt welcome to the esteemed leadership team of our institution. Our visionary leader, founder chairman Captain Gopinath Dayalan sir, a transformative leader and a guiding force whose leadership and vision continue to shape the future for our institution. Our dedicated correspondent and primary principal, Ms. Vijayashanti Gopinath ma'am, a passionate educator and a strong leader who is committed to laying a strong foundation for our young learners. Our esteemed trustee or board members, Mr. Prem Kumar Dayalan sir and Mrs. Srividya Reddy Thekula ma'am, who set steadfast commitment and strategic vision drive the school's excellence and growth. Our dynamic principal, Ms. Mabon Helen Himalata ma'am, whose academic expertise and innovative approach inspire both students and teachers. Our inspiring vice principal, Ms. Aparna Murugan ma'am, a person of guidance and dedication fostering a progressive learning environment. Their commitment and passion for education drive the excellence that our school stands for. We are truly honored to have such an incredible leadership team guiding our children. Now, to give you an insightful overview of our academic approach and curriculum structure, we have with us from the Zee Learn training head, Ms. Paramita Chattopadhyay ma'am. With an impressive career spanning over 18 years, Ms. Paramita ma'am serves as the training head at Zee Learn Limited. She holds a double master's degree in management and education, complemented by a prestigious training certification from the Indian Institute of Management, Indore. Her expertise in public speaking, along with her exceptional communication and interpersonal skills, position her as a highly approachable and impactful leader. Paramita ma'am's dedications to fostering growth and her commitment to excellence inspire both her team and the students under her guidance. A warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Priyadarshini. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vijayashanti ma'am, and thank you so much, Helen ma'am. And a very warm welcome to all our parents who've gathered here today. Thank you so much because you are one of the most key and important pillars to ensure that the implementation of this phenomenal curriculum takes place in the manner that it has been envisioned. And today we have with us our parents from grades 3 to 5 who joined us to understand what is new at MLZS. The most interesting part of having parents from grades 3 upwards goes to show that your association with us is minimum of between 3 to 5 years, because your children would have been with us either right from pre-primary or at least from grade 1. So this association is only going to get strengthened as we move ahead with this new academic year, which promises to be very, very exciting, not only for us as educators, because we are bringing something which is very, very different from what has been offered in a CBSE network earlier, and also because we want to provide the best triggers and the best resources to our Mount Literans, that is our students. And I'm sure as parents of children from Mount Litera Zee School, your singular aim is also to ensure that your children become holistic individuals. And I think to be at Mount Litera, this is one promise that we can make to all of you, that what we are shaping here is the future of the holistic, well-rounded individuals of your children. So on that note, I'm going to share my presentation. While I will be sharing my presentations, if there are any questions during the time, you are most free to post them in the chat window. I will take those questions up as we proceed. Apart from that, towards the end of the program, we will keep a window open so that you can ask us questions. As parents who've been with us prior to this academic year, you might have experienced the curriculum in a different manner. We are taking that level to one step higher and benchmarking it globally with the IB standards. So what you might witness today is something that you might not have seen earlier in a CBSE network school. So let me begin by sharing my presentation. Please let me know if the presentation is visible.
It's visible, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll just make it full screen. So yes, a very, very warm welcome once again to all our parents of Mount Litera Zee School, OMR Chennai, and the students from grades 3 to 5 who have joined us for this orientation today. Everything begins with how you envision to make the future of your children. And at Zee Learn this year, one of the major changes that we have made is that we have written ourselves a new vision statement. So the vision statement this year says that we are going to provide an environment to ignite, nurture, and unleash the potential and talent of your little children. So the entire objective of this vision statement is that we do not want any two children to be exactly alike. We are here to celebrate the uniqueness, the diversity of each of those children who join us at Mount Litera. And our job as educators or principal or the business partner who leads the school is totally focused on trying to nurture the potential that is presently there in your child, nurture it, and be able to unleash their true potential. So we are looking at trying to nurture and unleash the potential which is there in every child without trying to make any two children the exact replicas of each other. Because at Mount Litera, we celebrate the diversity, we celebrate the uniqueness in every child. So the new curriculum at Mount Litera is called Litera Nova. And Litera Nova, the word Nova means new. And of course, since the curriculum is new, naming the curriculum new made a lot of sense. But the curriculum has not been named new or Nova only because it is new this year. We have named our curriculum New or Nova with the promise that every year after this, we will continue to add some new features, some new added pointers to our curriculum to ensure that we are keeping it abreast with whatever is the best available in the market. So you can be rest assured that if you've taken a decision to put your children in Mount Litera and be parents of Mount Litera, you have taken the right decision, because this is the best place to be for your children, who will continue to get new triggers, new resources, new methodologies, and new avenues to explore themselves every year going ahead. And the two people you see on the screen are going to be the learning buddies or the Nova buddies of your students, whether they are studying through their textbooks or they are studying through our AI-enabled learning management system that we call Litera Nova application. So while there are many, many new things that we have included in this year's new pedagogy, new curriculum, but a few things I definitely want to emphasize so that you can, on your own as parents, differentiate between any other brand that is available in the market and Mount Litera. One of the fundamental changes that we have brought to the new curriculum is we are focusing on equitable learning. Now, what does equitable learning mean? All these years of education post our independence, we have focused on equality in education. So we have given all the children the same kind of teaching learning process without realizing that all our children are different from each other. No two children are alike. So when we give all our children the same kind of triggers, the same kind of resources, the same kind of infrastructure, some of the children who really need it, they take it well and they move ahead. But the others who require different kinds of triggers, different kinds of resources, lag behind. So from this year, using technology, which is an AI-enabled technology, we have created an equitable learning environment. And while saying that, I mean that we at Mount Litera are going to allow every child to learn the way he or she wants. You might wonder, how is that possible as parents? Well, in the classroom, the teacher will follow a whole class approach and she will give multimodal triggers to the children. So if your child is a visual learner, now what is a visual learner? A learner who learns by seeing. They see pictures, they see videos, they see flashcards, and when they see a visual imagery, they learn better. Then there are another different kind of learners. So maybe your child is an auditory learner. An auditory learner is one who listens to instructions and learns. Then we have the read-write learners. Some of the learners, only when they read themselves and they write and make notes, do they learn. And the fourth kind of learning style is called the kinesthetic learning style. These are those children, they learn best only when they do it with their own hands. So they prefer experiential learning. So even many of us as parents are not aware what the learning style of our child is. But we at Mount Litera will help you understand what exactly is the learning style of your child. And for this, all the children who will be having access to the AI-enabled application called the Litera Nova app will take a diagnostic process on the app, which will have very simple questions about their interests, their liking, and their inherent learning style. And basis this diagnostic process, we will be able to identify what kind of a learner your child is. And this information will be shared with you too, so that you know what is the best way in which your child can learn. So once we have identified in what way your child learns best, we will make every effort through our whole class approach and through our application to give your child that kind of trigger so that the child learns best. So for a visual learner, there will be many videos, many presentations, digital flashcards. For auditory learners, means the ones who listen and listen and learn. Those kind of learners will have recorded lectures, they will have podcasts, they will have listening comprehensions. Then we have the learners who have a read-write learning ability. So for them, we have PDFs, we have textbooks so that they can continue, flip books so that they can continue their learning journey. And for the kinesthetic learners, there is a lots of hands-on learning through quizzes, through games, that is 2D and 3D games, and through the DIY kits, through the board games, and through the AR Mind Sparkle cards. So we have made learning a very, very individualized learning process in which every single learner, every single child will have the choice of deciding how he or she wants to learn. So this is one of the biggest changes that we have brought from what we had till last year to this year. Plus, we are focusing not just on cognitive development. Everywhere you must be hearing the buzzword that our school provides holistic development. Now, when we say holistic development, it does not mean that I'm going to make your child get a 98 or a 99 or 100 in the CBSE exam. That is just cognitive development. But here our focus is going to be on ensuring that your children become well-rounded individuals. So this year onwards in Litera Nova, we are going to focus on 10-dimensional learning. Every learning that will happen in class will ensure that your wards, your children and our learners are learning holistically, are developing holistically, and are becoming well-rounded individuals. And we are going to do this through both kind of approaches, a hybrid approach in which there will be classroom teaching, plus there will be teaching that will continue on the learning management system or on the app. And since this app is AI enabled, this app has several such features which can help your child continue their learning journey back at home. Another point is the learner-driven approach. All this while, we have focused on doing what is right for the child, and all the decisions about the child's learning has been taken by the teacher. Going ahead, we are also going to give your learners an opportunity to decide on how they want to take their learning ahead, how they want to showcase their learning, which is called the learner-driven approach. And by doing this, we also want to give our learners a stress-free environment so that they can decide how they want to learn, when they want to learn, the way they want to learn, all of that choice is given to them. And not just for learning, even for assessments, they will be given a choice. So apart from the fact that they will be writing their periodic test, which is going to be for the 20 marks, over and above that, the children will have an opportunity to do subject enrichment activities, which is the SEA or multidisciplinary projects. They will have an opportunity to give several FAs, which is formative assessments. They will have an opportunity to get marks basis the notebook submissions. They will have an opportunity to submit digital portfolios and also get grades on it. So basically, the student does not have to feel worried and stressed if the child has not done well in the periodic test or the PT. Because apart from the periodic test also, the child will have multiple avenues to showcase their learning. Sometimes it happens some students are not very good in writing academic paper, that is the pen and paper test. But they are very good with presentations, they are very good with projects, they are very good with research, they are very good when it comes to assignment submission or homework submissions. So they are very good in multiple other things, but probably during the time of a test, they are not able to do that well. So we have tried to create a stress-free environment by giving them multiple opportunities or multiple avenues to showcase their learning so that there is no high pressure on them only for the 20 marks periodic test. Another very important and integral part of the learning process is going to be gamified learning. Now we know that today's children, all your 8 to 10-year-old children, love playing games. So they take your device or they have their laptops or their desktops and they end up playing a lot of games. Many of these games have no head or tail, but the children get addicted to playing. So instead of getting them addicted to playing games which are of no consequence to them, we have created 260 academically outcomed games for them, in which when they will do those games, it will be reinforcing the academic learning that is happening in the class. So children will get to learn nouns and addition and subtraction and solar system and photosynthesis and everything through games. So they will learn the concept of magnetism by playing a game in which they bring a magnet and take it across various objects and realize, oh, this is plastic, that's why it's not getting attracted to the magnet. Oh, this is glass, therefore not getting attracted to the magnet. Oh, this has metal, therefore iron in it and therefore getting attracted to the magnet. So this is the way the children using the games will understand the concept of magnetism and how things get attracted to the magnet. So many such games have been designed in keeping with the curriculum, in keeping with the learning outcomes that are expected for that particular grade. So these are some of the very key features and key differentiators of the Litera Nova framework. And like I said, we want every child to have their own learning style, their own uniqueness. And what you see here on the screen is a star. So the logo of Mount Litera Zee School is now a star because we believe that all our little learners are stars and they have their own shine, they have their own luminosity. And our jobs as educators and your job as a parent is to ensure we are able to nurture that potential and unleash that talent in them, which is inherently there in them. So this side, what you see on my left-hand side is the unique learner profile. Each of your child will get a unique learner profile on the Litera Nova app, which will be based on the 10 dimensions of learning. And if you see around the star, there are 10 images along with the names of what those images denote, which are the 10 dimensions on which your children will be nurtured to ensure a holistic and a well-rounded personality. And while we know that learning, studying, and all that is very, very important, maybe in grades 3 to 5, you're probably still not so worried about what they might do after they complete their graduation or post-graduation. But our duty as an educator is to start building critical competencies in them right from the childhood. So for us, using the 10-dimensional approach, we are focusing on building these 10 core competencies in our children, all of which are imperative whether they take up a job or they become entrepreneurs when they leave the aisles of the school. If you look at the competencies which are listed here, critical thinking. So obviously, if you want to solve a problem, you should be able to think critically. You should be able to evaluate all options, analyze all options, and finally take a call on what is the best option available. Then we have communication. Communication is again a very, very imperative competency. We have cultural intelligence, confidence, computational skills, creativity. Of course, creativity nowadays is a very, very important aspect because only those who can create new solutions, can create new avenues are the ones who are most revered. Because even as per the World Economic Forum, the two most important competencies are innovation and creativity. So that is something that we want to inculcate in all our learners. Of course, there's commercial awareness. Commercial awareness is about knowledge about money, how to invest money, how to save money, how to be money smart. And we want our little learners right from grade 1 to understand the concept of money and be able to manage money well. Citizenship is about being a global citizen, both digitally and physically. So you're able to be responsible citizens of the globe. You know what are the rules and regulations that you need to follow. You will be a law-abiding citizen of the globe. You will also be a citizen who abides by the rules of the cyber world. So that way you will neither bully anyone, you will never be part of any kind of cyberbullying, cyber phishing, or any such activity because you know how to conduct yourself with a lot of responsibility in the internet world or the World Wide Web. And of course, crisis management. In everyday life, there are so many areas of crisis that we are constantly managing, and we want to teach our children this skill on how to manage crisis, how to solve problems, and how to become better leaders. Let us understand the books that you will be getting in grades 3 to 5. If all of you have received your kits, then this is what you would be seeing in your student kits. You will have subject-specific books, which you can see in column 1. There is a textbook for English, which is called Linguistic Landscape. There is an English grammar book, which is called Grammar Spark. You will have the Hindi textbook called Hindi Ka Safar. You will have a Hindi grammar textbook. You will have a math textbook called Mathematical Explorations. You will have an EVS textbook or the World Around Us textbook called Eco Explorer. You will have a computer science textbook called The Tech Trio. You will have an art and craft textbook called Artistic Horizons. And you will have the Bridge module. Bridge module is essentially a module which will help your children. Now your children are moving from grade 2 to grade 3. So our duty is to first make sure that all their fundamental understanding about the grade 2 concepts are clear and then take them to grade 3. So bridge module is a bridge between grade 2 and grade 3, and every grade has this bridge module to connect the dots between the previous grade to the next grade that your child is moving in. So all these things which I just read out will be part of your student kit which your children would have received. Apart from the ones that you see in my first column, please move your eyes to the last column which says experiential items. In the experiential items, there are 3 things that your children would have received in the kit. One would be a Mind Sparkle box, which has 10 AR or augmented reality cards. In each of these cards, there are 2 games. So when you flip the side of the card, both sides you will find games. Through this AR cards, when you use the Litera Nova app, you will be able to, your children will be able to play the games or see the poems which are there on the AR card. And this will make learning very exciting for them because from 2D, it becomes a 3D, and that makes learning more fun because it becomes more interactive for them. Apart from that, you would have seen a DIY kit, which is a do-it-yourself kit. In the do-it-yourself kit, there are 2 parts. One is a model which the child has to put together. And all these models are connected to the concepts that the child has done in EVS in that particular grade. And there is also a puzzle. So every grade from grades 1 to grade 5 will have a DIY kit in every student kit, which will contain a model and a puzzle. Apart from that, you will also have board games which come with pegs and dice. Every subject will have one board game. So if your child is in grade 3, the child will have received one English board game, one Hindi board game, one math board game, and one EVS board game. All these board games are fun ways to learn a concept and consolidate the learning of a concept. So these two columns, the first column and the last column, are the things you would have received in the student kit for your child. So apart from what comes to you in the student kit, there are many other things that your child has access to ensure that learning happens consistently without any break and learning happens in a fun manner. So we have certain digital programs which the teachers will be conducting in the class. The first program is called Flip. It is in digital format for grade 3, but for Flip, in grade 4 and grade 5, you will find textbooks. So Flip is a financial literacy program in which we teach children about money. And the most important and beautiful part of this program is that the entire conceptual learning is done through storytelling to ensure that the children understand the concepts better. Then we have a program called Sanskar because we believe that ethical moral development is also very important. While we want our students to be stars in academics and stars in sports, we also want them to have the right kind of values of respect, of empathy, of citizenship, of honesty, of punctuality, because these are critical values that every child needs to have to be a good citizen, to be a good human, and to have better relationships. Then we have a skill builder program, which is on physical and emotional well-being. All these programs will be conducted by the teacher in the classroom. We are also well aware that all our students appear for a lot of competitive exams. They appear for the general knowledge Olympiad, they appear for the math Olympiad, they appear for various kinds of Olympiads. So we've included a module on general knowledge and current affairs as a part of the digital program to keep our children abreast with whatever is happening in the world. We also have modules on mental math and Vedic math, which will help improve the calculation speed and skill of the children so that they will be able to do better in their core math area subject. And we also have a new program and a new tie-up this year for music and speech and drama. We've tied up with the Trinity College of London, which is the best music and speech and drama program in the world. And all your children will now have access to the music program, which is Western vocals, Western instrumental, and speech and drama at the very safe confines of the school. And all the teachers who are going to be teaching this Trinity curriculum will be trained on how to conduct the curriculum. And then after that, they will be taking these sessions for your students, giving your children an opportunity to study world-class music and world-class speech and drama curriculum in the safe haven of their schools. Now let's move on to understanding the learning management system, the AI-enabled learning management system, which is the Litera Nova app. On the Litera Nova app, all the children will have access to 2D games. They will have access to AR Nova, which I told you is augmented reality Nova, through which there will be stories, through which there will be games. Both the things are available on AR Nova. If you have received your textbooks, you will see that every textbook has QR codes integrated in the textbook. When you scan the QR code using the Litera Nova app, it will take you to extended learning material on that particular topic. So it will help the children see better videos, listen to better podcasts to have clear understanding of the concept. Apart from that, there will be there are many quiz, there are activities, there are audio-visual aids which are available on the Litera Nova app. And your child's personalized learning journey will also be on the Litera Nova app. So once the diagnostic process of your children is completed, post that, the personalized learning plans for your children will begin. Another interesting aspect of the Litera Nova app is that the assessments on the Litera Nova app are adaptive. When I say adaptive, I mean that it can either become more difficult or less difficult depending on how your students are faring. I mean, how your children are faring in the test. If your child is getting a 10 on 10 in every test that the child is taking, every test meaning every quiz that the child is taking on the app, then going ahead, the child's questions will become more and more challenging, more and more higher order to help your children challenge themselves a little more. But if your children are giving a couple of quiz and the children are scoring a 4 or a 5 and not scoring that well, then automatically the AI-enabled Litera Nova app ensures that the student starts getting lower order questions so that they can consolidate their understanding before they move to higher order questions. So the Litera Nova app, which is an AI-enabled app, is a really, really smart app, which is going to help your children continue their learning journey, which is going to give feedback to your children on how they are learning, and is also going to give assessments which is basis or in alignment with their learning levels. This is the same thing for grade 5. There's not much change in the kit, except for I told you that FLIP and DCP, that is the Digital Citizenship Program and the Financial Literacy Program, becomes in the form of a textbook, which will be part of the kit. In grade 3, there is no DCP, and the FLIP program is also in the form of a digital module. The rest of it is the exact same for grades 3, 4, and 5. So this is how all your textbooks are going to look, my dear children and parents. Every textbook has been made in-house by our team of experts who hold doctoral degrees in their respective subjects. They have put together these books after a lot of deliberation in alignment with what NCERT and CBSE proposes for that subject and that grade. So this is how the textbooks will look. The textbooks are very colorful. They are very nice with good illustrations. But what makes the book truly phenomenal is not just the pictures and the illustrations, but the various parts of that textbook. So if you see here, these are the components of the grade 5, in grade 3 to 5 English textbooks. So if you open the textbook, in the second and third page, you will find these components of the English textbook. What are these kind of components? If you see, the learning hub, wonder words, activity arena, literarism, quick peek, listening time, speaking time, the tech link, beyond the text, fun activity, global awareness, creative writing, linguistic junction, reflection point, home connection. All these are very important components of the English textbook because each of these components you will find in the chapters, and through these components, we are trying to do the 10-dimensional learning for your children. We want our children to be holistic, well-rounded individuals who will be able to fight it out in the real world because they have real-world skills. So my request to all of you parents is, please open the textbook and look at the beautiful components of each of these textbooks, because what is a component in English is not a component in Hindi or in math or in science. Each of these subjects have very specific components which are aligned to the learning outcome and curricular goals for that particular subject and that particular grade. So this is the math. If you see in math, there are certain added features, which are, added components, which you will not find in the English textbook, in the English. For example, brain booster. Brain booster is not a component which is there in the English textbook because they have literarism, whereas math has brain boosters because depending, in math, there is a lot of practice. So you have the drill zone, which is practice. You have the brain booster, which is practice. Then you have the reflection point, which is again a reflection. Then you have the did you know, which is a practice. So there are a lot of avenues of practice. Even quiz mania is practice because we know that a subject like math requires a lot of practice. So all these components which we have thoughtfully put into the textbooks are absolutely aligned to the curricular goals and learning outcomes that are required for that particular grade and that particular subject. So requesting all of you parents to please sit with your children and go through the textbooks, the first 2 pages, the second and third page actually, to see the components of each of these textbooks. And then you will realize how our textbooks are so different from the textbooks which are available in the market or from the NCERT textbooks, because these textbooks have been very thoughtfully designed to ensure holistic development and holistic learning for your children. This is Eco Explorer, which is the EVS book. Again, the Eco Explorer has certain unique components which are not there in the other subjects. So if you look at it here, there is a skills corner and there is a life skill value corner and there's an Eco Connect. Eco Connect is the ecological connect. So here, because it is EVS, there is a special component here called the Eco Connect, which you did not find either in English or in math. This is Grammar Spark. It is the grammar book for grades 3 to 5. There is an in-house developed computer book that has been made by the subject matter expert, which is called the Tech Trio. It is there right from grade 1 up to grade 8. And why is it called a trio? Because there are 3 very important components of information technology that we have put together into one book. The first one being digital and cyber literacy. Second one being computational thinking and coding. And the third one being AI and robotics. We understand that for all our little learners, learning in all these 3 verticals to understand information technology better is absolutely imperative. So all our books have been curated in a way that the children are getting insights into all these 3 verticals. This is for the art lovers. This is our in-house made art book called the Artistic Horizons. In the Artistic Horizons, there are several activities given to the children to ensure that their creative dimension is taken care of. Now this, my dear parents, is the assessment structure for grades 3 to 5. You can have a look at it. I already told you there are multiple avenues for the children to showcase their learning and to showcase so that for us to assess their learning. The first one is the SEA, which is the subject enrichment activity, which will be for 10 marks. And we will do an average of the 4 FAs. What are FAs? Those are formative assessments that the students will take on the application or the learning management system. And through that, we will be able to ensure that the child is able to score well through multiple avenues like the SEA plus the formative assessments. Apart from that, there will be a 20 marks PT, a written test or the periodic test. There will be 10 marks assigned to notebook submissions. That is, submission of the textbook, the work behind the textbook, submission of the notebooks. All of that, children who are doing that from time to time, completing their assignments on time, they will be granted those 10 marks. And then we will have a 50 marks half yearly. So that is how the term 1 is structured, and the term 2 is also structured in the same manner. So for children who have probably not done so well in the PT1, there's nothing to worry. There are another 20 marks they can get from SEA and FAs, and another 10 marks they can get from notebooks. So 30 marks are available to them over and beyond the periodic test. So giving the children a stress-free environment where they can be assessed on various other ways rather than only on the pen paper test. I've already mentioned this to you. This is how your Mind Sparkle box will have. It will have 10 cards. Mind Sparkle box is available right from grade 1 to grade 8. So there will be 3 cards of Hindi, 3 cards of English, 2 cards of math, and 2 cards of EVS in grades 3 to 5. Each of these cards will have 2 games or 2 activities. So for the 10 cards, totally you will have access to 20 activities using the Mind Sparkle box or the augmented reality cards. Then we have these board games, like I mentioned to you, one for every grade. There will be one per subject, one for Hindi, one for English, one for math, and one for EVS. So this is how the board game looks. The instructions are given behind. The children have to follow the instructions, roll the dice, and move the pegs. So it will be a fun way to recapitulate the learning that the children have had in the classroom. One of the most finest things that we've added this year to the kit is the do-it-yourself kit. The do-it-yourself kit is a beautiful way to assess the learning by doing it hands-on. So when the children put together the model, they have to follow the instructions which are given, and basis the instructions, they have to put the model together. And if you see the way the models have been structured, all the models are based on the conceptual understanding that the children have had in that particular grade. For example, if you see here, grade 3 shows magnet car. Why? Because the concept of magnetism, that is same, if the poles are similar, they will repel, meaning north and north together will repel, but north and south together will attract. So when they make the magnet car and they have another magnet in their hand, they bring the magnets to the magnet car. If the magnet car begins to move forward, that means it is north and therefore there is repulsion. But if the car begins to move backwards, that means it is north and south, therefore there is attraction. So the movement of the car will show the children whether attraction is happening between opposite poles or repulsion is happening between like poles. This is how the DIY kit looks. It will come to you in this format. The children will have to put it together and make it like this. Similarly, this is the magnet car, which I was talking about, to my left-hand corner. And this is the magnet that will make it move forward or backward. So this is the kind of an instruction kit that the DIY kits will come with. How to put together the pieces, in what order to put it together, will all be given. And the children will be helped by the teacher also. But it has to be done by the student themselves. It should not be an assisted activity, and we request the parents not to do it for the children. It is for the children to do and for the children to learn, because it is a do-it-yourself kit, and the yourself in this is the child. I've already mentioned when I was speaking there that there are several skill subjects we have included. The first one being FLIP, which is the financial literacy program. In this, we teach the children the value of money, how to open a savings account, what is a savings account, how does interest get accumulated, or how to use an ATM card, what happens when you don't use the ATM card properly, how should you make the PIN of an ATM card. So various such complex concepts are made simple using stories. That is the FLIP program. Then we have the Digital Citizenship Program. This is again a very interesting program which begins from grade 4. It enables your children to understand how they need to conduct themselves responsibly when they are using a digital device. All our children are using digital devices. They are either using phones, they are using iPads, they are using laptops, they are using desktops. So when they have access to the internet and they have access to a device, it is our duty as parents and as educators to be able to tell them how to use these devices responsibly. For example, how to never share their private and confidential data, where I stay, how many people in the house. All this data should never be shared openly on social media or on the World Wide Web. How to create strong passwords, because it is a well-known fact that even most educated people still keep password as password. Many of us, educated individuals, still have our password as password. So how difficult is it for anyone to hack into your account and take your money or take your identity, which is called an identity theft? So we teach our children how to create strong passwords. And by strong password, I do not mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My dear parents, that is also not a strong password, because it's very, very easy to be able to hack into such accounts. So we teach them how to make alphanumeric passwords with capital letters and small letters and minimum 8 digits to ensure the safety and security of their online transactions. So many such important things are taught to them in the DCP, which is the Digital Citizenship Program. This begins in grade 4. So it's not available for grade 3 students, but 4th and 5th grade students would have seen these books in their kits. We also have various other programs. I've already mentioned this, that we have GK and current affairs. We have mental math and Vedic math. We have the skill builder program, which is about managing your emotional and physical well-being, because we follow the 3H principle, that when the head, the heart, and the hand are together in any learning, only then the learning happens really, really well and consolidated. I've already told you about the music program, which is the Trinity College of London music program. It's a 24-week music and speech and drama program, which will be conducted in our schools by the teachers of the school, who will be trained by the Trinity faculty to be able to conduct this program in your respective schools. So when a child comes to a particular grade, or the child has taken, supposing your child is a new admission into Mount Litera Zee School, they probably come from another state, from another school, and you're worried that will my child be able to cope with the grade 3 curriculum, or with the grade 4 curriculum, or with the grade 5 curriculum? Please do not worry, for 2 reasons. One, when the school begins, for 10 days, we have something called a settling period. So we don't really do any intensive curriculum at that time. We do the bridge modules at that time, which helps the children recapitulate the learning from the previous grade. Apart from that, we also conduct something called a GCL, which is a general competency level test, to check the subject proficiency of the children in a particular grade. So if I'm taking the GCL of grade 3, it will have questions from grade 2. So the children will take this test in the first 15 days of the school's reopening. Once the children take the GCL, the teacher comes to know, is the child weak in English? Is the child weak in Hindi? Or is the child weak in math? In which subject does the child need additional help? Once they do this, what happens is, we give them this scaffolding program, which we call the English Readiness Program. Meaning, if a grade 3 child is not up to the age level and grade level expectation of grade 3, we give them this short-term program called the ERP, or the English Readiness Program. It's a worksheet-based program which will help the grade 3 child come up to the grade 3 level. We have a similar program for Hindi called the Hindi Readiness Program. Then we have programs like this, which is for holistic development of the child, like BMBI, in which we tell them how to do guided meditation. We teach them mental math practices. We teach them punctuations as to how to speak the language correctly, when to pause, when not to pause, what kind of pace, pitch, power you need to speak with. So basically, communicative language is taught in this particular module. We have one more module called Poemsphere, in which we tell the children a little more better understanding about poems, different kinds of poems, what is the rhyme scheme in the poems, which are the authors or the poets who wrote the best kind of poems. So all this is covered in the Poemsphere, which is BMBI. I've already told you that we are very, very focused on building the ethical side and the spiritual side of our children. So we have a value-based program called Sanskar. And this program helps our children understand our culture a lot better. And this program will end with a 2 to 3 days Sanskar camp, in which we will be emulating the Gurukul culture. We will be having hands-on learning about our scriptures. We will learn the sign language, and we will have a lot of life skill and value integration for our children, because we want our children to be holistic in their development. All 10 dimensions should be catered to, and this ethical and spiritual development is one such critical dimension that we are very, very focused on developing. We also want our children and parents to engage together, to spend some quality time together. So we've made this program called Vihang, in which during the summer break, during the winter break, during the Dashera break, during the Diwali break, the children and parents can spend some quality time by doing certain hands-on experiments using very simple home available equipment and resources. Of course, Litera Gantavya for your children might not make a lot of sense because it is a career guidance program and essentially meant for students of the higher grades. But the iCare program is definitely very, very critical because I'm sure all of you know that we are all sending our apple of our eyes to our schools. So we want the children to be safe in every aspect. And because we want our children to be safe, we conduct the iCare program for all our teachers so that we can make them aware on the POCSO Act and how to keep the children safe in school so that there are no violations and the children feel not just physically safe, but emotionally safe, socially safe, intellectually safe in our school premise. So we take the safety of our children very, very seriously. And there's an absolutely no compromise and zero tolerance to any such misdemeanor that can be carried out. So our entire staff, my dear parents, our teachers, our coordinators, our admin staff, our ancillary staff, all our staff is put through the POCSO Act understanding so that all of them are aware and they take this understanding about preserving the safety of the child very, very seriously. And we at Mount Litera assure you that when your children come to our school, they are in absolutely safe hands. They will be nurtured, they will be taken care of, and they will be bringing out the best versions of themselves. These are a few projects, the SEA projects, like I've already shown you during the assessment structure. This, my dear parents, is the new application. So this is available on Android as well as on iOS. Will be live on iOS soon. It's already live on the Android platform. The name of the app is called Litera Hub. Once you download the Litera Hub, through the Litera Hub, you can access the learning management system called the Litera Nova app. When you log into the app, you will be able to see this kind of a personalized, unique learner profile of your child. So if you see the image here, how much learning has happened, how many quiz the child has taken, how many assignments the child has done, everything you will, as a parent, be able to see. So this becomes the unique learner profile for your child. This feature or this particular app has some very, very unique features. So some of the unique features are the AR Nova, which is the augmented reality Nova, like I've already told you, making 2D come alive as 3D. Then we have Ask Nova. Ask Nova is a 24/7 chatbot available on the app. If your children have any questions, even after going back home, they can put in the question to Ask Nova, and Ask Nova will answer their questions. The only catch here is that Ask Nova is programmed in such a way that it will only answer questions which are related to that particular grade and that particular subject for the child. So if I'm in a grade 2 class, I can only ask questions which are in alignment with the grade 2 curriculum. I cannot ask random questions to the chatbot. Then we have Nova content. The good part about this is that because we are building a unique learner profile based on the learning styles and learning preferences of your children, the content available on the app is in 3 formats. So if you want to access the content in video format, you'll get it in video format. If you want to access it in audio format, you can access it in audio format. If you want to access it in the form of PDFs and flipbooks, you can access it in that. So every content that is available on the app for every grade and every subject is available in 3 formats. If you want, you can access it in all 3 formats. Or if your child is a visual learner and likes to learn through visual triggers, they can only look at the videos. They can only look at the presentations. They can only look at the digital flashcards. So all the content on our app is available in multimodal format, that is 3 formats. Then we have the Nova Expert. Nova Expert is an expert teacher of that subject from your school. So if the child has a question, maybe on a Friday evening, the child goes home and has a question. He doesn't want to wait till Monday to get an answer. He can put that question. He can put that question onto the Nova expert, and this Nova expert, who is a teacher of the school, will be able to give him or her the answer in 24 hours. That is the Nova expert. Then we have SimNova. Now, SimNova is not really applicable to grade 3, but in grade 4 and 5, we have certain simulations which we have aligned to grade 4 and 5 curriculum. SimNova is nothing but recreating the laboratory at home. If there are certain experiments that the teacher has done in the lab, either the chemistry lab or the math lab or the English or the science labs, the child can do that same experiment back at home by logging into SimNova. If the child wants to see how magnetism happens, how the magnet attracts the iron filings, because the teacher has done that in the lab. So the child can do that same experiment back at home using SimNova. If the child wants to understand a concept of pH value, that certain things are acidic, certain things are basic, water is neutral, they can again log into the SimNova and they can test the pH value of any of the things. So they can select sugar solution, they can select coffee, they can select dal, they can select any of the 12 options or 14 options given, and they can take the pH meter to that, and you will get a scale which shows them that what things are acidic and what things are basic. So this is SimNova, which means creating a simulated laboratory for your children back at home. So it is absolutely safe. There are no hazards around it. There's no worry that the children might spill something on them or they might have some kind of an injury. It's an absolute safe environment, and the children can learn the concepts by doing it themselves. So these are a few of the highlight features of the learning management system, which is AI enabled, which is Litera Nova app. So like I told you, that all content is available in 3 formats. That's exactly what is shown on the screen here. You can do it in the PDF format. You can look at it in the video format. You can look at it in the audio format. Okay, I think that is not required. Then this is the AR Nova. Through the AR Nova, you can see AR-based stories, AR poems, and also virtual tours. So I might not get to go to the Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall of China, but using this virtual reality option or the AR option, I can go and visit a Eiffel Tower sitting back at home. I can visit the Great Wall of China sitting back at home. So it becomes like a virtual field trip for our children. Flipbook is an opportunity for the child to flip the pages and read out the story aloud. So the child can read the story. If the child wants to repeat a particular word, the child can go on that, click on that word, and the app will read out the pronunciation of that word again. So either the child can have a read aloud option in which the app will read it out for them, or the child can keep reading it. But if the child doesn't know a particular word, the child can go and click on that and the app will read out or call out the pronunciation of that particular word. Okay, let's see one game, AR Nova game. Is the sound audible to you all?
No, ma'am.
Not audible, right? Okay, 1 minute. Can you tell me if the sound is audible now, Shruti?
No, ma'am. It is not audible, ma'am.
Yes, we all have the Mind Sparkle box.
Now it's
with
audible, ma'am.
cards. So AR Nova is where you will have to scan the card and experience learning through the AR Nova. So here I'm going to have the Jungle Adventure, which is a pre-number concept. I'll click on this particular Nova game.
This is how the
Again,
Nova
the
games will
camera
be
will
played,
open
my dear
to,
parents. This is
camera
just
scanner will
a
open to scan
recorded
the
video of that
card.
for your understanding.
Place the water bucket on the table.
So this is, it says on the table. So we have to shift this to table.
Keep the backpack inside the tent.
So here is the backpack and I'm moving it into the
Move the chest under the table.
We also have AR Nova games for concepts.
So this concept that we were
which are
reinforcing
for the
using
higher
the
grades.
AR
So here
game
we
is
Drag the
called
magnet to
preposition.
cling every irons.
So you can see on the screen there's a magnet which you need to hover over the nails to attract all the nails to the magnet. Thank you.
So my dear parents, this is how your children will play games on the application. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this was just a recorded video of how your children will be playing conceptual games to reinforce concept. The first one was prepositions reinforcement. The second one was on magnetic and non-magnetic substances. Using a game, the children will be able to understand better, they will be able to remember better, and they'll be able to appreciate the concept and be able to apply it in the real world. So these are the advantages of using these things for your children. So basically, using the application is going to make the learning very, very interesting for all your learners. Let's see this. I've already told you this. Let me play this one. This is a SimNova activity.
SimNova, hands-on learning through interactive simulations for subjects like maths and science for higher grades. Let us experience one of these simulations. So I will take the first macro pH. Here we have to check the pH scale for different types of liquid. So I will just select a liquid, say drain cleaner, and this is the device which will navigate into the particular liquid to see the pH value.
So parents, if you can see, the pH value is coming as 13, which means that this solution is basic.
Coffee. Okay.
Now let's see what coffee is. If you can see, the pH value is coming as 5, which means every time you're drinking a cup of coffee, you're adding a little more acid to your stomach. So this is the way simulations will be learned and done by your children, which will help them understand and consolidate the learning of their particular topics. So this is how this particular app will be very, very helpful in the learning and consolidation of concepts for the child, even after the child has gone back home. So this is what is new at Mount Litera Zee School, my dear parents. If you have any questions pertaining to anything that we have shared now, or you have any queries as to how your children are going to adapt to these new changes, then please do not worry, because we have a team. Yes, you will be given a username and password. So when you download the Litera Hub app, you will be given from the school. They will provide you the user ID and password, and using that user ID and password, your child will be able to access the Litera Nova app. If there are any questions, please feel free to either put it in the chat window, or you can raise your hand and you can ask a question. So for all of you parents who are probably thinking how, what, when, how are we going to do it and everything, do not worry. That is what I was trying to tell you. All the teachers at Mount Litera Zee School OMR Chennai have been raised with the complete understanding of the curriculum and of the app. They are undergoing training for the same. So they will be your first point of contact. They will be able to help you with all the queries that you have. But the one thing that you need to remember is this year is going to be unique, because all your children are going to have a unique learning journey at Mount Litera. Since no two children are alike, we do not expect any two children to learn at the same pace or learn in the same way. We are giving an opportunity to every child at Mount Litera to learn the way they want to, at the pace they want to, and attain mastery in any topic as and when they think they have attained mastery. So this is what we have to offer to all of your children, and we look forward to having a fantastic year of NOVA with your students at MLZS OMR Chennai. Any questions, please feel free to answer. Please feel free to ask. We are happy to take your questions.
Ma'am?
Yes, Shruti?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, instead of drama, will there be an option for Indian version too?
No, Trinity College of London does not have an Indian curriculum. It is a London-based music school, so they only offer Western classical, that is Western classical vocal, and Western instrumental, that is keyboard and guitar. Those are the options available at Trinity. Can we download it on the computer? There is a browser version too, ma'am. Yes. So there is an Android version, there is an iOS version, and there is a browser version. So if your child wants to use it on the laptop or on the desktop, you can do it. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any content that you download on the app, ma'am, will stay on the app. So you cannot share it outside because it will remain inside the app. You can download it and keep it when you have internet access so that you can access it even when there is no internet. So it stays, that content, the PDF or the video will stay downloaded in the app for you to see it whenever you want to.
Thank you.
How to get access to the app? Like I mentioned, the app is live on Android platform. It is called the Litera Hub app. You can download it, but the login ID and password will be provided to you by the school.
Ma'am, there's another question. What is SEA and how is it implemented?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
What is SEA and how is it implemented?
Okay. SEA is subject enrichment activity. It is mandated by CBSE. So it is basically a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary project. Those projects are assigned to the student. Whatever material they need to do that project, they will have to carry it from home. All these details will be shared with the parent beforehand. There are 2 SEA activities, one in term 1 and one in term 2. It's a graded activity. So the children will be given a problem statement, and basis the problem statement, they will do a project and they will be graded on the findings of that project. Can students not be separated based on language? Oh, I don't get that question. What language, what would that mean, ma'am? We are not separating anyone, ma'am. Everybody is in the same class. It is just that we are allowing them to learn the way they want to. So all the children will be in the same classroom. The teacher will be teaching them in 2A or 3A or 4A or 5A. But because we have done a diagnostic test and we have identified how your child learns best, when the child goes back home and logs into the app, the child will get resources which are aligned to the child's learning style, learning abilities, and learning preferences. So there is no separation. Not that some child at present kids are grouped by the language they speak at school. So no, that kind of grouping is not on the application, ma'am. By the language they speak is not the way the grouping on the application is done. And there is no grouping done on the application at all, ma'am. It is just individual. Your child will have a separate learner profile. Recording. Shruti, some parents are sending me a request for recording. I'm sure you're taking care of that.
Yes, ma'am. I'm recording, ma'am.
Okay.
At what time frame parents can get to know the learning style of the child?
Once the children take the diagnostic test, the profile will be available for the parent to see. There is nothing that you and I can do even if we know the profile. It's not like if I know my child is visual, I want my child to become kinesthetic. We can't do it. It's a natural inclination of the child. But yes, what we can do as educators and as parents are try to give them multiple triggers in that aspect. If I know my child is visual, for example, today the teachers were asking, if the teacher knows that 60% or 70% of her class is a visual learning style class, then she in the class will use more learning resources which are visual in nature so that the children learn better. So our duty as an educator or as a parent is to understand the learning style of our child and be able to grant resources and provide resources to help them learn better. That is all we can do. Ms. Veena, the recording will be provided to you. Shruti is recording it. She will have it given to you. Are there any other questions? Is there anything that has come to you, Shruti? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Sai Sana app will be alive on iOS soon, most probably by this weekend. So it got launched on the Android on the 1st of April because till 31st, many of our schools were having the old academic year. So we did not want to launch it and overlap it with the old app. So we launched it on 1st of April. And very soon, by the end of this week, the iOS will also be available.
Ma'am, last question, ma'am. In the SEA activities, will school teachers help or guide the students to complete?
Yes, of course. The students will be guided by the teacher. Only the material has to be procured for that by the parent. In case that particular activity or that particular SEA requires certain material, that material, the intimation for that will be sent to the parents so that the parents can organize for that material, but the activity will not be done at home. It will be done at school in the presence of the teacher so that the teacher can observe and grade the child. No, ma'am, this is not no, sir, Mr. Rehan, this is not an advanced version of MLZS app. It's a completely new app. If you had the Mount Litera Learning app, that becomes null and void and redundant in this academic year. The Litera Nova app is a completely new app. Because all the quiz, all the games that have been designed as per our new methodology and the new pedagogy called Litera Nova. So none of it which was there earlier is going to be valid anymore. All the activities are going to be based on 10-dimensional learning. Any other questions, Shruti?
Oh, that's about it, ma'am.
Okay. So then, well, if all your questions have been answered, I do wish all of you the very best for the next academic year. We look forward to your support and solidarity in this transition year because like we are all excited and braced to bring to you or your children the very best in what the CBSE schools have to offer. We will require your support to ensure that this transition is smooth. There might be certain hiccups because anything new might come up with certain hiccups. We expect your support at that time so that we are able to sail through. And the entire objective, whether it is yours or mine or everybody here, ma'am, Helen ma'ams, or the management at OMR Chennai, our sole objective is to ensure that your children learn well and they become the best versions of themselves. So support us in this endeavor so that we are successful in the Nova endeavor that we have started this year. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We extend our sincere thanks to you, Ms. Paramita, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights on Litera Nova and features of Litera Nova framework, particularly its implementation across grades 3 to 5. And definitely this will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and strengthen the connection between our school and the parents. And thank you all the parents and teachers who attended our online parent orientation program. Thank you for all your time, engagement, and trust in us. We appreciate your continued support and collaboration in fostering our students' growth. We look forward to a meaningful and successful journey ahead. We wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. A very good evening to everyone. Thank you.